Application for Preferential Certificate of Origin, presented by Arif bin Muhammad, student ID 2019645732. What is actually means by Preferential Certificate of Origin? The Preferential Certificate of Origin is a type of certificate of origin being used to measure and to tell about the origin of a product. For human, when that person want to go overseas, they use passport. But for product, if you want to export the product overseas, we need to use certificate of origin to show the origin of the product, from which country it came from, and from which country it is originated. Certificate of origin is a document to prove the origin of a product. There are two types of certificate of origin. Number one, we call Preferential Certificate of Origin, or PCO. Number two, we call Non-Preferential Certificate of Origin, or NPCO. The PCO issued by MITI, Ministry of International Trade and Industry. And it's actually being issued based on the requirement under FTAs. And the purpose of PCO is for the importers of the importing country to get or enjoy tariff concession when they import the product from Malaysia. For the NPCO, is issued by MITI's appointed chambers of commerce or trade association. The issuance of NPCO is for the country which don't have any FTA agreement with Malaysia. And this NPCO only serve as a proof of origin, and there's no tariff concession will be enjoyed by the importers of that importing countries. Preferential Certificate of Origin issued by MITI. Actually, my presentation will focus more on the Preferential Certificate of Origin. There are two types of Preferential Certificate of Origin: regional PCO and also bilateral PCO. And this PCO will be based on the free trade agreement. We have around 14 free trade agreements in Malaysia, and regional consists of two types: regional FTA and bilateral FTA. Regional FTA from Atiga until the latest one we have the ASEAN Hong Kong, and it has its own forms. For Atiga we have Form D, and ASEAN Hong Kong we have Form AHK FTA. For bilateral FTA we have 7 FTAs under it. From Malaysia Japan commenced from 2005, and Malaysia Turkey, the latest one, commenced in 2015. And then for Malaysia Japan we have Form JEPA, and for Malaysia Turkey we have Malaysia Turkey FTAs. The issue of certificate of origin will be based on the rule of origin. What is it we call the rules of origin? The rules of origin are the criteria needed to determine the national source of a product. Their importance is derived from the fact that duties and restriction in several cases depend upon the source of import. Rules of origin are used to implement measures and instruments of commercial policy, such as anti-dumping duties and safeguard measures. Number two, to determine whether imported product shall receive most favored nation treatment or preferential treatment. Actually, most favored nation treatment, or MFN, normally be given by the Generalized System of Preference (GSP) offered by the European countries or developed countries. But under FTA we call it preferential treatment. And rule of origin also are used for the purpose of trade statistics. It's also for the application of labeling and marking requirements, and lastly for government procurement. The application of PCO via EPCO system. For a company if they want to apply for EPCO, they have to register their company with the government firstly. Number one, once they registered, they have to prepare and submit costing, and this costing tells about the profile of the product that they want to export, the origin, how they produce the material, etc. Number two, once they submit the costing through the EPCO system, the MITI officer will view the costing, and if the application is approved, the costing will be notified to the applicants, whether it's manufacturer or trader, or manufacturer cum traders. Once the manufacturer realizes that the application of costing or cost analysis is approved, they will submit the CO, and then the submission will be done through the EPCO system, and then meteor officer will process the application and whether it's approved or rejected. If it's approved, the applicant will be notified, and the applicants will review the CO form status whether once it's approved, and they will print the form on the carbonized certificate of origin. They have 3 layers in it, and then once they've already printed, the carbonized certificate of origin will be submitted to MITI for endorsement. Even though the process of application, processing, and approval of certificate of origin is done online, but the endorsement will need to be done manually, because it is the requirement of the importing country for the form to be signed by the authorized personnel for validations. Once it has been endorsed, the applicant will get the form and submit to the importers of the importing country, and the importers of the importing country will present the form to the customer of the importing country in order to get the tariff concession. And then this is sample of PCO form. I used ASEAN, Hong Kong, China, FTA certificate of origin. It state about the good consigned from, number 1, good consigned to the country of importing country, and number 12, they have a certification there where the form is certified and signed by the authorized personnel. With that, I will end the presentation, and I'll give the presentation to Mr. Masri for his topic. Thank you.